Good morning, class 6 pupils. In front of you is Teacher John, ready to present mathematics. Have a notebook so that you can record what we're going to discuss today. Last week, when we met, we were discussing about circumference, specifically the circumference of a circle. You had been taught on how to find circumference of a circle by when given the diameter and the radius. So today we are going to look at the vice versa on how to find the diameter of a circle when given the circumference. So get prepared for the presentation. Our main subtopic today will be finding the diameter of circle given circumference. From what you have been taught is that there is a formula to apply to find the circumference of a circle when you have been given the diameter. The formula, if you can remember, is pi d. So we are going to start from there. We say that circumference is equal to pi d. Since now we are finding the diameter d, we are going to start with pi d is equals to circumference. Pi d equals to circumference. Whereby the symbol pi and diameter d represents diameter. So pi, you are told that there are two pi's that are going to be applied. That is the first one, 22/7 or 3.14. This 22/7 is as a fraction, and 3.14 is when written in decimal. Or also we can say, if you change this one into improper fraction, into mixed fraction, it will be 3 whole number and a 7. So we can also say like that. For example, we can be given a question like this. Find the diameter of the circles. Find the diameter of circles given that circumference of 144 centimeter, 2 62.8 meters, and 3. The third example can be 6.6 decimeters. All these questions, we are going to do them together. From there, we shall proceed to the next step. So, pay attention. We are going to write the solution on how to deal with these 3 questions. The first question is to find the diameter when the circumference is 44 centimeters. Units very important. If you can look here we have centimeters, here we have meters, and here we have decimeters. So we need also to consider the units. From what we know is that pi d is equals to circumference. Therefore, our first question, that is 44 centimeter as the circumference, we will apply our formula pi d is equals to circumference. Our circumference in this case is 44 centimeters. Right? 44 centimeters. The pi that we are going to involve here is 22/7. The diameter, we don't have it, so we'll multiply by diameter d that we're looking for. The next step is that we all know that when we take the coefficient and we multiply by the variable, you get what we call the term. So the term that we're going to get here is 22d, then over the denominator 7 equals to 44 centimeters. After there, we will get to multiply both sides by the denominator. Multiply both sides by the denominator 7. 7 will cancel 7. This case will remain with 22d equals to, no need of you multiplying 44 centimeter multiplied by 7. That is wastage of time, and mathematics now you have to go with the time. So I'll just say 44 centimeter multiplied by 7. So thereafter, I'll have to divide both sides by 22 in order to get the value of d. 22 cancels 22. 22 here 1. 22 here 2. D equals to 2 centimeter multiplied by 7, you'll get 14 centimeter. Therefore, we can say that diameter D equals to 14 centimeters. Thereafter, we can underline our answer. That's the end of our first example. We come to the second example. The second example states that we have to find diameter. We have to find diameter if the circumference is 62.8 meters. We start afresh from the formula. Pi d is equals to circumference pi d is equals to circumference. Our pi, in this case, we are going to use 3.14. Why? The question, if you look at it well, is in form of decimal. Apart from that, there is another reason that makes us not to use 22/7. The reason is that if you look at these numbers clearly, these numbers are not multiple of 11. If you look at question number 1, question number 1, 44 centimeter is a multiple of 11. So when you have been given that the circumference as a multiple of 11, please, you have to apply 22/7. If not stated, if the pi has not been stated, therefore you'll have to use 22/7. So in this case, we are going to use 3.14. So the pi in this case is 3.14 multiplied by diameter d that we don't know equals to the circumference 62.8 meters. Thereafter, if you multiply the coefficient by a variable, the term that we are going to get is 3.14 D equals to 62.8 meters. What next? For us to get the value of D, we will have to multiply both sides by the coefficient. In this case, the coefficient is 3.14. Divide both sides. What you have done to this side, you have to do it the other side. So we'll have to divide also by 3.14. 3.14 cancel each other. So remain with this. Thereafter, consider the decimal. When dividing decimals, you cannot divide decimals until you change them to whole numbers. So in this case, we are going to consider the number of decimal places. The number with the greater decimal places is the one to consider, or is the one to use. If you look at the numerator has only one decimal place, while the denominator has two decimal places. Therefore, we are going to use or to take the 3.14 as to use. It has two decimal places. Since it has two decimal places, we are going to multiply by a number that has two zeros. Actually, that is 100, both sides. So, multiply by 100, both sides. Good. Thereafter, you cut 1 0, bring the decimal point here. The last 0 takes out the decimal point. In this case, we have remained with the whole number. If you also look here, cut this one, take out the decimal point. But remember that this number has not yet been multiplied by 10. We are going to multiply by 10, so we will get 628 meters times 10 over 314. If you multiply that number, you will get 6,280 divided by 314. First digit and first digit, ask yourself, 3 can go into 6 how many times? 3 can go into 6 twice. So you write, before you write there twice, you need to take 314, confirm, multiply by 2. If you multiply in that case, you get here 8 there, 2 there, 6. So right here 2, then 628. Take away, you'll get nothing. Drop the last 0. 3. After dropping a number, you find that the number is smaller than the divisor. What you're supposed to do, you need to know that because they are 0 times. So 314 goes to 0, 0 times, 0 times 314 is 0, remain with nothing. D equals to, there we got 20. We can now say that diameter, therefore, diameter D equals to 20. Before you write any units, confirm from the question. The units were meters. So right here, meters. Thereafter, we'll underline your answer. Without wasting time, we are going to the last example. The last example is here as 6.6 decimeter. Last example was 6.6. So you will note as pi d equals to circumference. Pi d equals to circumference. Our circumference is 6.6 decimeter. Our pi that we're going to use is 22/7. And the diameter we have not been given. We are looking for diameter d. So, from the equation, why have I used 22/7 and yet the question is in form of decimal? From the beginning I told you, for you to use any pi, you need to look at the number first. The circumference in this case is 6.6. Since 6.6 is a multiple of 7, and we were not stated, the pi was not stated to use. So we will have to apply this one since the circumference is a multiple of 11. So from there, we are going to say that pi, which is 22/7, times v equals to 6.6 decimeters. 22/7 times d, 22/7d, equals to 6.6 decimeters. This case we're going to multiply both sides by 7. So 22d equals to 6.6 decimeter multiplied by 7. This case no need of multiplying. Divide both sides by the coefficient. Thereafter, look at this number. It has one decimal place. Consider 1, multiply both sides by 10 to remove the decimal. Thereafter, you will get 66 decimeter multiplied by 7 over 22 multiplied by 10. In this case, there was no decimal to multiply. So, this one goes there 1, this one goes there 3 times. So if you multiply the numerator, you will get as 21 decimeter over 10. Remember 10 is remainder there. Since the question, look at the question was in form of decimal, we have to write our answer in decimal form. So you cut this one, cut this decimal point, you bring the decimal point here. 1 will come to 1, 0, bring the decimal points there. So you'll have, therefore, diameter D equals to 2.1 decimeters. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Think we shall meet again. Thank you.